Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss. I want to welcome you to my studio here in Kentucky. Today we're going to be making this card. This is using the Trusty Tools bundle, and when you open it, you have a tool box. Hope you can see that. We've got a pencil and a ruler on the top of the box. Here's the side of it so you can see what it looks like from this side. So hopefully you can see what that looks like. I know it's a little hard, but it's a pop-up card, and this is what we're gonna make. It does have a lot of pieces. I will warn you, there are a lot of pieces. I've done some things ahead of time just in the sake of saving time, but we're gonna get started. So we're going to be using the Trusty Tools bundle. This is in the 2024 January to April mini catalog. It has a set of dies that go with it with a lot of pieces. There are, what does it say here? 20 dies. So we'll be using several of these, and I'll point them out as we go along. We'll also be using the Tools paper. This is the Trusty Toolbox paper, and it comes, I'm going to show you the paper really quickly. It comes with tools. Now some of these you can cut out, like the hammers. You can use some of the dies, the paint brushes. There are dies that will cut some of these out. This is a whole page full of rulers and some polka dot paper. We've got screws and nuts on this side, screwdrivers, just a kind of a textured look. We have hammers, and looks like the screw heads and nuts, and another page of tools, and some kind of like grid paper. So the paper comes with 2 of each of those. They're all double-sided, so it's 12 sheets of paper. We're also going to be using this one sheet of paper that is from a totally different set. It is the Earth and Textures, I believe. It's in the annual catalog. And we're using it for our wood that's going to go on top of our workbench here, our toolbox. It's going to have a wood top. So again, there are lots of pieces, but we'll kind of go through them as we're going, just to save time. So we have tons of like 18 or 19. This is a piece of Lost Lagoon. This is 4 1/4 by 11. We'll be scoring that in half at 5 1/2. We've got a piece of 4 by 8 real red. We'll be doing some scoring on that. We have a piece of toolbox paper. This is 3 by 4. We've taken a strip of the real red, and I've cut it using this die right here, this rectangle die. It's actually supposed to be a toolbox. This is the handle for the toolbox so that you can make a toolbox and stick all the tools in, but we're going to use it as our drawer. We've got a little strip of the hammer paper. I believe this one is 4 by 3/4 inch. We've got a little piece of black. This is a 1/2 inch by 4. We've got another piece of black. This is 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. We've got this piece of vanilla, which I've cut with a die from the Something Fancy die set. I've already cut out a wrench using this die from the die set. We've got this piece that we'll be stamping on. This one we'll be stamping on. This is just a little scrap of vanilla we'll be stamping on. There's that piece of wood, wood grain. This is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. We've got a piece of vanilla that's 4 by 3. And we've got a piece of copper clay that is 2.5 by 3 7/8, looks like. So again, all those pieces. We also have a piece of ribbon. This is Lost Lagoon ribbon. We have another 1/2 of a wrench. I've just cut it out and then cut it in half. We have a tiny little strip of black, and we have a piece that I've cut, a little 2-inch piece of that ruler paper. So these are all pieces we're going to be using. And so we're going to get started. I'm going to do the little bit of the stamping first to get that out of the way. So this I've just stamped You're the Most Awesome. It was this stamp right here. And I've just stamped it in Memento Black on this little piece that's cut with the Something Fancy dies. And so we have this piece. So that's all ready to go. We also, I've taken that piece of the copper clay, and I've used this die. This is a pegboard die. And so we have this piece, which is all ready to go. Then I've done some stamping on these 2 pieces. And what I did with that, I stamped in black. This is vanilla. And this is the pencil stamp. And I just stamped that right in the center of that. And then I took crushed curry, and my crushed curry pad looks rough. It's had some use. And ink that up, and that may have to put my head in the way, but it lines up with the pencil to put the color on the pencil. Hopefully you can see that. And then I took a blends. This is the crumb cake, dark crumb cake blend, and I just colored that little spot and this little spot. So I colored those, and then I cut this out with the die. There's a die for the pencil. It's this one right here. And so that I've already done. So we have this little pencil. He's ready to go too. Then the other things that I stamped, this is Smoky Slate, and I stamped the hammer. And I stamped the wrench. And then I colored in the handles, and there are stamps that actually do that. So there are these 2 stamps that will actually put the color onto the handles. So I have the handle for the hammer, and I did that one in real red, and I hope I don't have to get my head in your way, but I do have to kind of see what I'm doing here. So there's red handle for that, and then Lost Lagoon for the wrench. So that has colored the handles. And then I took these and I cut them out with the die. Here's the hammer die and here's the wrench die. So I've already cut those out and they are ready to go. So you don't have to watch that. So these pieces are ready. So now we're ready to start on our card. So let me get all these pieces over here. Oh, I also took this small screws and nuts and bolts, nuts and screws anyway. And I stamped that little stamp right down there in the corner in the black. So that's ready to go as well. I'm trying to save some time because I know this is going to take a little bit of time to get it together. And I'm going to clean this red stamp just because I don't want that red to sit on there too long. Okay, so we've got our card base 4 1/4 by 11. We've scored it at 5 1/2 and we're folding it. So this is ready to go. Now we've got this piece of our screwdriver paper. And what we're going to do is take a little bit of glue and just run it right along the edge of this paper. Just right on the edge, if you can see that. And we're gonna bring in a piece of scrap paper just because glue is kind of messy, and I'm gonna try not to make too much of a mess. And I've got that piece of 1/2 inch by 4 inch black. And what I'm gonna do is just lay that on there so that I have a nice little black, a little black edge to my screwdriver paper. All right, so now I have this. And then I'm gonna do the very same thing on the back of this, right along this edge. And I'm gonna put that down on our hammers. I'm gonna put that right there. So now I have these, oops, it's not very straight, is it? That's what I like about glue. You can move things around a little bit before it gets dry. Okay, and then this piece is going to go right on the front of our card, right on the bottom. And it will have a little bit of border. It'll have a little edge on the 3 sides. So we're putting it down close to the bottom and leave a little bit of an edge. So we have this. And now we can see where to put the screws, because we have the nuts and screws up here, but you kind of need to know where you have room for those before you stamp them. So that's why we did this part first. We're going to grab the black ink again, and we're going to stamp those I'll put one down here. It's a little hard when you're not over your paper. So I actually kind of messed that one up a little bit, but it'll be okay. So there are the screws. You won't do that. You'll do better than that. And nuts. So that's now on here. And then we've got that piece of ribbon. That was that Lost Lagoon ribbon. And what we're going to do, we're going to take that piece that we stamped, that I'd already stamped and cut with the Something Fancy dies, and I'm going to put this right on that black rectangle and just kind of center it. And then I'm going to take my seal, that's my tape, I'm just going to run that right across the center of this piece and lay the ribbon right on there. And then I'm going to trim it with my scissors because I don't need a lot of it. So there's the ribbon. And then I'll take dimensionals, and I'll put dimensionals on the back of this, and I'm going to put them right over the ribbon. That will actually help to keep the ribbon secure. And we're going to stick that on the front of our card. So here we go. So the front of our card is now finished. Now our next step is going to be to take our red piece, this is the 4x8 piece, and we're going to score it at 2, 4, and 6. So we're going to score all 3 of those score lines. And then we'll fold all of these fold lines the same direction, just like if we were making a box. Now, to get this card, we want to make sure that we're getting our card so that it will lay flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up just above our score line, and we're going to put our adhesive on this end panel. So this is step 1. So line it up, and it's going to be centered, so there's a little border on each side. And adhere that down. So now it doesn't interfere with the folding of the card. Our next step is to fold on this middle line, fold that down, and then put your adhesive on this end panel here. And this will ensure that our card will lay flat. And now you'll fold this up, and now you can see your card is nice and flat. But when you open it, voila, you have a toolbox. So our next step is going to be to start decorating this. And we've got that piece that I told you I had already cut as a pegboard. And we're just going to put some glue on the back of that, or whatever adhesive you choose to use. I prefer the glue because you don't want, if you use tape runner, you're gonna have a really hard time trying to keep it away from those holes. All right. And then this is going to be centered at the top with just a little bit of a border on 3 sides. And then our next stop is to take our tools. And we've got a wrench and an Allen, or is that, what is that? That's not an Allen wrench, no. That is a crescent wrench, and we've got a whatever kind of wrench this is, an adjustable wrench, I guess, and we've got our hammer. So we're just going to put our multi-purpose glue on the back of this, and we're going to stick this down. And then we've got our crescent wrench. We're going to put glue on the back of him, and we're going to stick him down. And then we have our, whatever this is, adjustable wrench. I don't know what it's called. And we're going to put him on there. So we have our tools. All right, our next step is to take this piece. This is the one that was 3x4, and we stamped on it. And that's going to be where you would write your greeting. And we're going to put it in the bottom. So it's going to go down in this area. And again, it will have a nice little border around the edges. So we are getting there. Now, we have the piece that is our wood surface, and we're going to take our little piece. I've cut a little piece of that ruler paper, and we're just going to glue it right on to the wood surface. So this is our little ruler. And then we'll take our little pencil, and we'll stick him right across the ruler. And now this piece is ready to go onto the top of our toolbox. So putting glue on that, And then I'm just going to center that, and it'll have, again, a nice little border all the way around. And now that is centered and glued to the top of our toolbox. So we're almost done. So we have this piece, and we've got a little bitty tiny strip of black. And what we're doing is we're going to use this black. It's going to be our handle for the drawer. And we're going to take that, and we're just going to put a little bit of glue on it. And we're going to glue it right to our drawer. Then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this, but we don't want to put dimensionals at the top. So we're going to put, I'm just going to put probably one over here in the center and one over here in the center. And then I'm going to put one right here at the bottom in the center. And the reason for that is because we're going to stick a wrench in there, and we don't want to have it sealed down to where we can't get to it. So this is just going to get centered left to right, but a little closer to the bottom than the top, because we've got that little half crescent wrench. And mine was a scrap. It was cut on from something else. And I'm going to put glue on it. And we're going to slide it right into that drawer. Like that. And there's our card. So we have this pretty outside, and then inside you've got this cool little toolbox with tools at the top. And then we've got our wooden surface with our pencil and our ruler, and then we've got the drawer with the wrench peeking out of the drawer, and then here's the bottom of our card where we would write our message for our favorite mechanic. So this is the card. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope we didn't go too fast, but if you have any questions, you can email me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. And if you'd like to see more of my projects, I have a website, www.bluegrassstamper.com. You can subscribe to my website and to my email. I send out free tutorials. Also, if you need any supplies, I would love for you to shop with me. I appreciate every single order. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you'll come back next time. Bye.